It has been said that average people want you to stay average. Welcome to the Breaking Average podcast, the podcast designed to challenge you to break the mold that average has on the world. Each episode offers insights directly from those who choose to break average every day. Now, for the latest insights, here are your hosts, Paul Gustavson and Mike Harbour.
Welcome to the Breaking Average podcast. My name is Paul Gustavson, and joining me today is my co-host, Mike Harbour. Hey, Mike, how you doing, man?
Hey, Paul, I am good today. Hope you're doing well yourself.
Doing fantastic. You know, as the weather gets a little colder, it is movie time, and we had some fun last week picking 32 fantastic movies. Today, joining us in studio in just a little bit is our colleague Diane and Rick. And we've asked them to join us as we continue to mastermind on what it means to break average and our topic that we've been really focusing on, which is winning mentality. So Rick, Diane, I know you're there. We're going to have them come on in and we're going to highlight them here in just a second.
Good morning.
Hey, guys.
Yeah. Good to see you guys. This is going to be fun today, huh?
Absolutely. Let's rock.
So Mike, tell us a little bit on this whole concept of breaking average. You know, what are we about? What's this podcast focused on?
We're all about breaking average in leadership. And we love talking to leaders who are breaking average in the way they lead in their communities as well. Paul, certainly excited about the opportunity we have to simulcast live on the Empowered Living Show. You know, we've all are friends, mentees of Paul Martinelli, and for him giving us the opportunity to be able to do that through the Breaking Average podcast is certainly exciting. Breaking Average it's kind of the trademark for transformational leadership, right? Leaders who overcome what Paul says is the mentality of the world, mass producing average. It's doing something above and beyond the leader, and all breaking average leaders have this have this winning mindset, doing something above average, Paul. And we're going to talk about that with our movies today. I'm excited.
Yeah, that's right. We are continuing both of us have little frogs in our voice here, so it's kind of funny. I guess it is that time of year. We're continuing our movie showcase on these great 32 movies that we selected. Each of us picked 8 movies apiece, some fantastic movies from Rick and Diane. Mike, you and I have some stiff competition because we're going head to head with these two folks on our movies. It's going to be kind of fun. Rick and Diane, you guys picked some good movies, and it's going to be fun. We took the Western Division. We kind of made this March Madness style Western Division and Eastern Division, and they're going to go head to head. We'll have 16 great movies by the end of this podcast. For you, our audience, lean in on some of these movies. These are great picks. Have fun listening to our conversation, but also have fun watching these movies.
Yeah, this is going to be fun, Paul. I don't know. I mean, I really feel like I've got the best 8, 16, whatever I picked. How many did I get to pick? I think I got to pick 8. I think I had the best 8. At the end of the day, I'll be competing against myself as, for the movie that wins. But this is going to be fun. Diane, it was fun in round 1. I'm not sure she'll make it to round 2.
But we picked champion. I'm telling you right now.
we were looking for movies that were compelling, right? That had a message, that were also enjoyable, movies that were transforming, and had a transformative message for us to like kind of look at things differently and challenge us to do things differently as well. And then also empowering, meaning they had the capacity to move us to action. And so these are all movies that we love. Many of them I've watched multiple times. Some of them, there were a few, Rick, he's a movie connoisseur. You can tell he mentioned some movies I've never even heard of. So certainly there's some research to be done there. I'm not even sure they were movies. I think he was making the titles up, but we'll find out. And, things that we love, I'm excited to share them with our listeners. How about you, Paul?
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, we're going to have some fun. Rick, are you ready, man? Are you licking your chops on this one?
Yeah, absolutely ready. And, I was just sitting here biding my time as my big brother continues to pick on me. And What Mike doesn't know is that there was a conference call that happened a little while ago, and we figured, with all of the people that he follows and he's a fan of, they don't win a whole lot, and we wanted him to feel that feeling of winning. So we kind of, let him stack the deck just a bit.
Oh, that's so good. We're having fun already. Because the truth of it is, I mean, you guys are just having fun with me because I picked the 8 top movies here. So, I mean, I don't know. It's tough. Actually, all you guys pick really good movies, and it's going to be really tough to kind of narrow this field down from 32 to 16, but we're going to make that happen. Next week, we're going to draw it down even further, tighten it up, and we're going to give more context each week on these movies because there are some great elements from these movies as far as leadership. So it's going to be fun, Mike.
Yeah, the Final Four is going to be fun. Rick talked about it's letting me stack the deck because I hang out with losers. Being from Arkansas, it's easy to understand how to lose. You got to be a good loser. We recently experienced, I'm a Razorback fan, and thank goodness football's going on. But the Arkansas Razorbacks had not won an SEC football game in over 20 tries, and recently finally got over that hump. Hopefully, it's the start of a new winning cycle. But to be a really good winner like I am, you have to be a really good loser. And, I hope the rest of you can handle it.
Well, failure is success's constant companion, according
right.
to Napoleon Hill. So
Amen.
you're right on there.
And I'm looking for that movie to come out on perseverance of the Arkansas Razorback football team. So 20 years from now, there's going to be some movie that Mike picks that he loves, talking about that one win that they got after 11, 12, maybe 13 seasons of mediocrity.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're starting off with football, aren't we?
There's a lot of Razorback fans that are going to be fighting for the starring role in that. It's kind of like the one movie I picked in our picks is Rocky. Being the underdog, getting beat all the time, but always coming out on top. That's what that movie's going to be all about.
So good.
So Rick, Paul, Diane, we're going to move from our 32 picks down to a Final Four eventually. We're going to have a lot of fun doing it. We'll settle in on a movie that sounds the most as the go-to breaking average movie. I already know what that is, but we'll go through the motions here. And, Rick
we
and
have
Diane,
no idea.
Are y'all ready?
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
This is going to be good. We have no idea where this is going, guys. So hopefully you, the audience, are having fun as we go through this, whether you're watching or listening. Thank you for being here. I'm ready to go too. Let's get this competition going. Let's get the gloves on. Let's make this thing happen.
And Paul, I challenge the audience to yell back at us and let us know what they would have picked and what they thought of, and and make sure that we're not the only one telling Mike that he's wrong. I mean, let's let the audience tell Mike that he didn't pick all the best movies.
True, so true. Yeah, we want to hear back from you. You're going to say, "Hey, I'm throwing the red flag on that one," whatever, or you're going to give us a thumbs up on the picks that we make. I mean, we're having fun with this, guys. We're having fun, and really, while we're having fun, there's a serious element to it, right? We're picking movies because they're inspiring, they motivate us, they challenge us, they move us forward. And these movies are moving us forward. And it's really about this idea of the winning mentality, and we all can possess this. This is a choice that we have. And you're going to see that reflected in the movies that we pick, that they're of characters and storylines of a winning mentality that was based on a choice that was made. And there is an element of perseverance, like the Arkansas Razorbacks, that hopefully we'll see one day. But this is going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to keep focusing on this idea of winning mentality, and hopefully you're seeing that a little bit from the four of us here this morning as we share this with you.
Yeah, so just kind of give our listeners a little idea of where we're going, Paul. Obviously we started with our picks a week or so ago. We've got 32 movies. We're going to start with the Western Division of movies, where we have 8 games representing 16 different movies. We'll remind everyone of those 2 movies going head to head, who selected them. And as Rick said, look, if you're listening in on the podcast, share notes with us of what your thoughts are. If you're watching live on the Empowered Living Show, put some comments below the video, wherever you're watching that, so that we all know who you agree with as far as your pick of movie. And this gives us the judges' evaluation of 2 movies, letting you know which one we prefer, Paul.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. Now, if there's 4 judges here, so there's a chance there could be a tie on a movie. So if we can't agree on a clear winner for a movie, then we're going to use the IMDb ratings for our tiebreaker. So we're going to look to see how is that judged as far as a compelling, not just a box office sales great movie, but also just a storyline that really resonated with critics and listeners and folks like you. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we'll get through the Western Division today. Time permitting, we may hit the Eastern Division movies as well, where we have 8 more games to pick, 16 additional movies. We'll pick winners from that group to move us to the final round of 16.
Yeah, let's go. Let's just rock in. So we're starting with our Western Division. The flow is going to be this way. It's going to be Rick, Diane, Mike, then me. So Western Division, guys, are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay. All right. So we start with the Western Division. Top first pick was Rick choosing Rudy, and I picked Remember the Titans. So Rick, tell me what you think, man. I mean, because I gave you some competition.
This is an SEC battle right out of the gate. I mean, right out of the gate. But for me, obviously I'm going to pick Rudy. It's my pick. And the one thought I have is it's a movie about how to get clear about what you want to do and commit.
That's good. That's good. Diane, what do you think? What's your pick between Rudy and Remember the Titans?
I love them both, but I have to go Remembering the Titans because we're talking transformation in that movie. The storyline was all about transformation and bringing a team together that was polar opposites. And so Remembering the Titans for me.
Very good. Mike, man, what do you think?
I love both movies. The only reason I root at times, the only reason I root for Notre Dame as a football team is because Lou Holtz was a great Razorback football coach at one time, and then made he made Notre Dame. He put Notre Dame on the map, and they haven't been on the map since. But Rudy's a fantastic movie, but I think Remembering the Titans is going to get my vote to date only because of what's going on in our society right now, and the message that Remembering the Titans is all about, bringing 2 teams, 2 races, a community together through the message of overcoming race and in bringing people together as a team. It's a fantastic movie. I think should be watched over and over right now with everything that we have going on. So Remember the Titans. Only because of what's going on right now is going to get my vote.
Yeah. Wow. So good. So, Rick, you picked a good movie. I like Rudy, and I could make some fun with Rudy, but it really is a great movie. But Remember the Titans is definitely my go-to movie. I love the storyline. It basically, this movie came out 20 years ago, and I went to a rival high school not far from it. So there's a lot of elements to that I like, but it's to the points that were made a moment ago. It is a transformational movie about a team coming together despite the racial division. So that's my pick, Remember the Titans. So looks like that's our winner. Sorry, Rick.
Yeah. That's all right.
Remember the Titans. All right, so let's go to the next round.
Down goes Rudy. Down goes Rudy.
Sorry, Rudy. You're a great movie. You're still in the top 32. But Remember the Titans comes out on top. All right, so next head-to-head competition, we have Wonder Woman, picked by Diane, and Rocky. Oh my gosh, can you imagine the two? Somehow they blended those 2 movies together. Okay, Wonder Woman and Rocky, picked by Mike. So Rick, what's your pick on that one?
Yeah, I was on the fence on this one, and I think Mike snipping me on the last one has now swayed me. No, I'm just saying so. And the thing is that there was 5 movies or 6 movies you could have picked that had Rocky's name. Yet you went with the first one, where is the only one where he loses. And I felt like that was kind of Mike's mentality in going against this. So no, I got to go Rocky. I can't go against Rocky. I mean, yo, Adrian, let's go.
Yeah. And how about you? I mean, you had some competition here. You picked a good movie, but you didn't know it was going to go against Rocky when you picked it. So what are your thoughts on this one?
No, I didn't. Well, they're both warriors in this message, right? So we've got the winning mindset. One, is overcoming his own mindset, and the other one, if Wonder Woman is overcoming unity in the world. We're gonna change the world by love, right? And so I'm gonna stand by my Wonder Woman pick. Why? because even from a winning mindset, her mother wanted to protect her whole life. And the most compelling part of the scene was when she decided that she was going to go up against the war. And it was her mother's greatest sorrow that day. And so for me, but she still made a decision. She stood firm in her decision to go and fight for mankind. So that's why I'm still choosing Wonder Woman.
I like it. That's good. How about you, Mike? What do you? I mean,
Well, obviously,
yeah.
I mean, look, I don't have to fight for this one a whole lot. It's simple, right? But let me say, Wonder Woman is a great superhero movie, but Rocky is a great modern hero movie, right? That stands the test of time. When I think about what's going on in the world, I try to attach these movies to it. We've all been battling the pandemic of 2020. Getting knocked down, and we continue to get back up and fight for that dream that we have in front of us. And that's what Rocky was. And not only was it Rocky 1, I mean, 6 Rocky movies. Now you've got Creed and I think Creed 2 as well, or kind of spin-offs of that. So I think Rocky obviously stands the test of time, where there's only been one Wonder Woman. And so the pick is, I mean, Rocky could win the entire thing.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay. All right. So, guys, I love Rocky, but I'll be honest with you. I'm with Diane on this one. I think Wonder Woman is actually the better movie. I mean, I love some of the other Rockies, but the first Rocky just didn't do it for me. Wonder Woman, there's a special element of that story that I think is pretty powerful. She makes a good point. It's not just, she's going from a family that's trying to protect her to her realizing that there's a purpose in her life and she needs to step forward in that. And I think that's a powerful story for all of us, man or woman, just to realize that we all have a purpose. So I have to pick from my personal conviction, Wonder Woman. So Diane, I'm with you on this one. So we have our first tie.
Hi.
Yeah, I love how you let Barb step in and make that pick for you. but okay, that's good.
Boy, we're seeing that competitive element come out.
Oh, that's fun.
You're not competitive at all, Mike.
This is so good. So actually, she didn't pick that. So, but that's funny. That's funny.
No, but she's listening, and
That's
she would have
right.
told you to pick that.
That's right.
She probably would have, to be honest with you. But I'm going to IMDb, guys, and IMDb says Wonder Woman is a 7.4, created in 2017. Rocky back in the 70s is an 8.1. So Rocky wins the tiebreaker.
Look at him.
He does it again. Like, I mean,
You can't keep him down. I mean, every time you think he's going to lose somehow.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's great. Okay. Okay. Next battle, we have The Greatest Showman versus Wonder, not to be confused with Wonder Woman. So Greatest Showman and Wonder. So Rick, you made this pick early on, and I gave you a little bit of competition with Wonder. Are you still going to stick with Greatest Showman?
Oh, of course. First of all, I do want to point out that I'm the only one so far that is held to the 15-second rule. The Showman is create a positive vision, keep it alive. Talks about showing how not to leave your team behind and what can happen if you do. And of course, the quote I'm going to say every time is, you don't need the whole world to love you, just a few good people. I mean, come on.
All right. So
I'm waiting for
Diane,
you
what
to
do you
drop
think?
the mic on that one.
Diane. Yeah.
So Greatest Showman and Wonder. I really like both of them. Wonder, pulls at my tugs at the heartstrings. Really, being the different one and showing up in the world that way. But I have to go with Rick. I do. The Greatest Showman it's very compelling. And, it's overcoming over and over again, and how he flipped the switch on, making the freaks the show. So everybody has their place. So Greatest Showman.
Okay. Good. Cool. All right. How about you, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, look, both fantastic movies. Wonder could play a part in The Greatest Showman, right? The character of Wonder. So, I mean, and then I rate a movie on which one do I want to watch again to lift me up. And obviously Greatest Showman is that movie. I love that movie. I've watched it multiple times. I have the soundtrack on in my iTunes so that I can listen to that for its great pump up music. So Greatest Showman, without a doubt. It's when Rick stole that pick from me, it hurt my heart because again, that's a movie that could win it all. So Rick, I'll give you kudos for that. Greatest Showman definitely gets my vote for the next round.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, guys, I'll be honest with you. I picked Wonder. I love Wonder, but I knew that I couldn't beat Greatest Showman because that's one of my favorite movies. So I'm actually, this is one where even though it's my pick, Wonder, I am not picking Wonder. Although it's a great movie, you should watch it. It's fantastic. I'm picking Greatest Showman as well, hands down. It's the clear winner of that competition. So Greatest Showman,
easy
one. Yeah.
All right. So next one we have Diane, who picked Braveheart, versus Mike's pick of Forrest Gump. What a combination. Braveheart versus Forrest Gump. Rick, what are your thoughts on that one?
Again, very difficult, right? I mean, Braveheart's one of those movies that anytime it's on, but I got to go with my man Forrest Gump. Just the kindness and almost wonder in childlike mentality that shows how simple it is to be kind. And I mean, how do you not? And look at everything that he accomplished in his life, in including winning ping pong. So, I mean, come on, Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. All right. How about for you, Diane? Braveheart. You didn't know again that you were going to have Forrest Gump competing with Braveheart.
But I was going to have to go up against Forrest. So I still love Braveheart, but the thing I love around Forrest Gump, and when we talk about empowering, I just think about the scene where he's running, and he's running by himself, and then he's running with everybody. So that empowering and moving people to action, I have to say Forrest.
Okay. Forrest Gump. All right. Mike.
Here's what's interesting about that. Diane outvoted herself, her own pick.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do the same thing. Isn't that interesting? Because Braveheart was on my list of picks, and Diane stole it from me. And so I matched Forrest Gump up against it because I knew it would be look, two great warriors, right? I mean, you got Braveheart, Mel Gibson, and Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump, two great warriors in wartime, completely different movies.
Both having
great messages, love stories in both of them, but fighting for a cause as well. But Braveheart, I'm basing on which one do I want to watch on a rainy day when I've got nothing else to do. I love both movies, but I'm going to sit down and watch Braveheart. So Braveheart's going to get my pick.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So for me, tough choices, tough choices. I love them both. They're different styles, different movies. What am I going to watch again and again and again? Here's the thing. I never watched Braveheart until John Maxwell unpacked that movie. I had saved that movie for whatever reason for years, even though, there's another movie that's very similar, Gladiator, that we'll talk about in a minute. And so it wasn't until it got unpacked for me that I really saw the value in it. I guess John Maxwell could have unpacked Forrest Gump and taught some lessons out of that too. So it's a tough one, guys. I almost want to go with Forrest Gump, but I have to go Braveheart. So Braveheart for me. So that means we have got to go to the IMDb database to see what they say. And
it's going to be Forrest Gump, I bet.
Let's see what they say.
Can we just say, though, we could have done this whole series just on Tom Hanks movies, right? I mean,
this is true.
No kidding. Wilson.
That was the one that was almost on my list. I got to tell you.
So
talk about winning attitude.
Forrest Gump came out in 94. It got an 8.8 on IMDb. All right. So, wow, I can't believe it. The movie came out that long ago. So if we go check out Braveheart, that came out in 95. So similar time frame, that has a rating of 8.3. So guess who the winner is?
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump wins. Sorry, Mel Gibson.
Look, I couldn't lose either way, right? I knew voting against myself when we made it to, I knew I was going to win that. Even.
You're too funny, man.
I think he's a spin doctor over here.
I think I can't wait for this next game because I think we're going to hit a movie for the first time that Mike actually has not seen.
I know, seriously.
Right?
All right, so here it is. So Rick picked Up, a Pixar movie, fantastic movie. And I picked Mulan, the newest one, the one that just came out this year, a couple months ago on Disney. So Up versus Mulan. So Rick, I gave you a little competition on that one because Up's a great pick, but
there's
Mulan,
no competition here, none whatsoever. Up, the sky's the limit, right? No matter the obstacles. And what's beautiful is some of the intricacies that Carl himself, right, the main character, and I'm saying this for Mike because he clearly hasn't seen the movie. He started as a balloon salesman and then used the balloons to literally lift his life up to live out his lifelong dream. I mean, no better leadership lesson than that.
That's good. That's good. All right. How about you, Diane?
See, I love Up and I like Mulan. I haven't seen the new one, but I have to say, I got to go with Mulan on this one. It's that loyalty. It's that overcoming. It's that compelling. I needed to go into the war to protect my family. Can you tell I'm a fierce protector? There's a theme there. So.
But what about Doug protecting the squirrel? Like, I don't understand. We have a fierce protector in Up with Doug. Squirrel.
Squirrel.
That's funny.
So Mulan's my pick.
Mulan. So okay, it's tough. We're tied up right here. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm torn. And Rick, for your info, you forget when Up came out, my kids were probably fairly young, so I have watched it at least one time. Probably multiple times, because when you have young kids, you just watch these
It's on repeat.
Disney movies or Pixar movies over and over and over. I love Mulan, the remake of that, the real version that you picked, Paul. Will Smith playing the genie, right? Do I have that movie right?
No, wrong.
No.
What was that movie? So
Aladdin.
Oh, that was Aladdin. That's right. So I don't even know Mulan. What is Mulan?
Well, see, Mulan, to see it at this point, you had to pay on top of a subscription. So I've not seen the new Mulan.
Oh, well, I guess I haven't either. I got the movies confused. So Up gets my pick then. I can't intelligently pick the new Mulan. So how's that for winging it right there?
Oh my goodness, we're having fun, guys.
Oh,
All
absolutely.
right.
Just for your
man.
information, I have seen the one that Will Smith played the genie. So whichever one that is, that's not on our list.
Aladdin
Though.
in your
Yeah, so in the original Mulan, the animated movie, it was Eddie Murphy that was playing the Phoenix.
Yes.
There's no Eddie Murphy in this one. It's a different character represented, but it is the Wonder Woman story, isn't it, Diane? When you think about Mulan, it's a powerful story, powerful story. Clear winner for me is Mulan on this one. Nothing wrong with Up. I just wouldn't, if I had to choose between Up and Mulan to watch again, I'm going to choose Mulan. Mulan is, unfortunately, it's a 5.4 star on IMDb. So we're going to see what Up is. It could be above
11.6.
Were we tied again?
Here we go. We are tied again. And this is the tiebreaker. And Up is an 8.2. So Up wins the competition.
There it is.
By a landslide.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Up is
As
the
I
winner.
said, no question, Mike. No question.
So you know what? I'm going to go watch it this week. It's been a while. I've seen it, but it's been
So good.
too long. All right. So
We
now I'm going to
watched
have to
the
go watch
snippets.
that. All right. So we're having fun. In the next competition, we have Frozen, but not Frozen 1, Frozen 2 against another animated great movie, Pixar movie, The Incredibles, that Mike picked. So Diane picked Frozen 2, Mike picked The Incredibles. Rick, your choice on that, Frozen 2 or The Incredibles?
Got to go with The Incredibles. Great family. Again, having to overcome kind of social misunderstanding of who they are, what they can do, how they do it. And that proves that the world needs great heroes.
Yeah, that's good. How about you, Diane?
So having recently had to watch both of these movies on repeat, having the toddler in the house with my grandchild, Frozen 2 is still my pick. And I pick that because, we're often that winning attitude, right? Back to our winning attitude. A lot of times, all we can see is obstacles in front of us. And when we can't see the full path, we just need to pick the right next step. And just that one part of the scene, just the next step is what resonated with me over and over again, because how often do we want to move forward and we get caught in our mindset? So that winning mindset is just taking the next step.
That's good. That's really good. How about you, Mike?
Well, obviously, The Incredibles is my pick. I have not seen Frozen 2. I have seen Frozen 1. It was a great message. But The Incredibles, I've watched multiple times. Love it. I'm a family guy. And so it reminds me a lot of my family. My body I looks a lot like Bob's does. My favorite scene in
does work out.
well, there's a lot of great scenes in that, but my favorite scene is when Bob's in this dead-end insurance job and his boss comes in and he punches him through the wall. I mean, how many of us haven't been in one of those dead-end JOBs where we want to punch our boss through the wall, right?
Never.
It's just and I have an incredible shirt that I wear to the gym, and people think it's a self-portrait of Bob on my shirt. So it's The Incredibles, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's a tough pick here. I did a couple months ago. I watched Frozen 2, Diane. It's a good movie. It's not my go-to movie. I got to pick The Incredibles. I'm sorry. It's just it's just there's so many great messages out of The Incredibles. So it's a powerful movie, and it actually does get a little edge if you wanted to just get validation on it. IMDb did give it a little bit higher rating than Frozen 2. So Frozen 2 got a 6.9. The Incredibles got an 8.0 there, but I would also pick The Incredibles. So, all right.
Yeah.
We're bringing it. So next pick, Rick picked Shawshank. I picked The Green Book. Two good movies, two fantastic movies. Rick, Shawshank. Rick, have you seen Green Book since?
I've seen it, yes.
Okay, all right.
But to me, Shawshank, come on. I mean, Shawshank could win this whole thing as well. I mean, at the end of the day, he doesn't allow the circumstances to define him and continues that optimism no matter the setting, and that's possibly the worst setting you can imagine. And Morgan Freeman in that too. I mean, come on. It's a wonderful movie, great message, and a wonderful message of continued optimism.
Yeah, it's a good movie. How about you, Diane?
Yeah, I'm with Rick on this one. Shawshank all the way. How can you? And the influence that he created in that environment was huge as well.
Yeah.
So it's got to be Shawshank.
Yeah. Okay, Mike.
Paul, you're going to lose this one. I number one, I've never even heard of Green Book until you picked it. So maybe it's not a fair assessment, but I have watched Shawshank probably 10 times. It's a fantastic movie. Love it. Love the message. So I got to go with Shawshank.
Yep. All right, guys, look, I see it. I know this is competition. I know this is the Cinderella underdog here. Shawshank's a tough movie. It's a 9.3 on IMDb. It's one of the highest ranked movies on our list. The Green Book is not low on the IMDb list. It's pretty high itself. So truth be told, I would probably choose Shawshank over The Green Book. Even though The Green Book's my movie, I would agree with you. What's the better movie?
Just the first clean sweep?
It's a clean sweep. All right, clean sweep. Here we go. Diane picked Hidden Figures. Mike picked The Upside. So what are your thoughts on this one? Hidden Figures versus
to me, it's Hidden Figures. Yeah, I love Hidden Figures. I love overcoming perseverance, but it's quite possibly one of our greatest achievements as a country as well. And what it took, and just as a project manager for a living, I always use the moon landing as our example. If you give me enough time, enough money, enough resources, we can accomplish anything. It's just whether or not the cost outweighs the value of what it is that we're doing. But when you have almost the entire country and the entire world watching you, and you're also somebody who's being held in a diminished capacity, but to still be able to persevere and really change our world for the better. I mean, it's a great story. Love the movie. Got to go Hidden Figures.
Right. So Rick picks Hidden Figures. Diane?
I'm sticking with my pick of Hidden Figures.
Yeah.
It's it is the perseverance part. I mean, down to whatever I have to do to get the job done, gathering all of my stuff up and running all the way across acres to just, go to the bathroom and then come back and continue, knowing how important my work is and being that dedicated, and just overcoming all of the circumstances to make sure that there was success for the mission.
Yeah.
So Hidden Figures is mine.
And
Yeah.
really quickly, Diane, until the movie came out, I would say only about 4 to 8% of the population even knew the story. They knew the moon landing, but they didn't know how important and how. So to me, that was also a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So Mike.
We had three things that we're rating movies by. Are they compelling?
Yeah.
Are they transforming? Are they empowering? So don't get caught up in the sympathy vote of this movie that we're looking at right now in Hidden Figures. Look, I love the movie. I love the message, but it's not compelling. It's not transforming. It's not empowering, really. When you look at the message of the upside, rich white guy, poor drug addicted or druggy black guy, right, that just happen to run into each other, and this rich white guy hires the black guy to do a menial job because he really wants him to fail. And it's really a message of overcoming, where Kevin Hart plays this guy who, has no money. He's kind of doing drugs, and then he transforms his life and becomes a person of meaning and helps this guy, this rich white guy who had become crippled, in an accident, transform his thinking, find new love, really find the true love of his life. And if you haven't seen that movie, if you're listening to this Breaking Average podcast or watching on the Empowered Living show, go watch The Upside, because it's an empowered living message, Paul. And to me, there's no competition with Hidden Figures. Great message, but it doesn't meet those three measurements that we're measuring these movies on.
I couldn't disagree more.
I knew that was coming.
The Hidden Figures is one of the all-time greatest movies I have ever watched. I love that movie. I love the message. Kevin Costner, fantastic job. The story of the three ladies, really all of them. It was kind of like Remember the Titans, in the sense of that just transformation that takes place. And certainly put man in space, put John Glenn into orbit. I mean, it's fantastic. It's a great movie. Hidden Figures all the way. So, but I will say this, The Upside's a good movie, but it's not Hidden Figures.
It is a good movie. It is a good movie.
So there it is, guys. There's our Western Division picks. We have Remember the Titans, Rocky, Greatest Showman, Forrest Gump, Up, The Incredible, Shawshank, and Hidden Figures. They are in our Sweet 16 on the Western Division. So you guys like those picks?
Oh yeah.
Hey, I just have a question.
Yes.
Let's look through those picks. Who had the most wins? I only had one loss there. And it's still, to me, it's not a loss. I think our listeners are going to go with the upside.
I only had one loss, and that was Rudy. How does Rudy?
So you and I are tied, Rick. Obviously, I can see us in the finals going against each other potentially.
Sure.
I still think I'm going to be against myself in the finals, but there's a potential, Rick. You and I could be there together. That was good stuff. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Those are great picks. Some of those I've flipped. I flipped my own pick for that because they are so good. All right, Eastern Division. You guys ready to roll on this one?
Let's go.
Same pattern. We're going to do the same thing. So here we go. Game 1, Eastern Division. We have Ever After, Rick's pick, versus Away, which is a movie series with can't remember the actress.
You see, it's so good he doesn't even know who's in it.
Hilary Swank. Hilary Swank. It's
so good he can't even remember the actress.
Yeah. Well, it's so fresh too, right? It's a great series on Netflix. A lot of people are griping and complaining about Netflix, but that's a great movie to watch on Netflix. Ever After versus Away. Rick, have you seen Away since you?
No, I watched it. I binge watched it on a flight recently. Just so that I could speak intelligently about it.
Oh, that was your assignment that you were on.
Yeah, I still go with Ever After for sure. Ever After is a retelling, a reimagining of the real life Cinderella, and basically the great stories come from humble beginnings, but the way it does it is so brilliantly done in terms of how she had to really overcome. So instead of such a fairy tale, it was really just a very, very tough set of circumstances that she was dealt and ended up having to persevere through that in order to get everything that she had essentially deserved. So it's an incredible retelling of the story, and one of those little dark horse candidates of ours that maybe a lot of people haven't seen, but go check it out. It's a phenomenal movie.
Very cool. Diane, how about your thoughts on this one?
So I still haven't watched Away, Paul. So I did do some like quick looks at it. Google's a phenomenal thing.
Yeah.
I have to go Ever After just because, that whole overcoming piece. It's been a little while since I watched it, but that one's a great movie.
Okay. All right. So I'll comment here on Away. Overcoming is what that movie is all about, by the way. So Mike, your pick. What do you choose?
Yeah, so full transparency here, I've never seen either one of these. Paul, did you say Away was a series, not a movie?
Yeah. It's a movie series. It's
10 episodes.
10 episodes, which makes a movie.
Okay.
So,
Roots,
10 shorts,
it's
is
not
that
even
it?
a movie.
Since I've not seen either one of them, I was going to go, I was trying to decide, okay, how do I pick between these two? I was thinking I'll go by alphabetical order, by title. But then I think of our rules, and we're picking movies and not series. So I'm going to go with Ever After. How's that for a cop-out pick?
Paul was selling hard there.
She
overcame stuff too, but he couldn't even remember who was in it. So that's kind of impact was made on that one. So
yeah, touche. That's fine. That's
love
good. I'll come at you, man, hard.
I can't go against the Drew Barrymore. Come on.
Well, I'm telling you, Away. I'll just say this. Obviously, Away is not going to win because we already have 3 Ever After choices. But guys, Away is a great movie. It's a series, just like Roots, right? Isn't Roots a movie? When you think of that, a movie, it's a series.
It is not a movie,
right? So this is just how we define movies, right? If I can binge watch something, that's a movie.
There's actually a technical term called miniseries.
Miniseries, yeah. Movie miniseries. I get them confused.
Roots is a miniseries.
But real quick though, on Away, it's a fantastic story because she's heading off to Mars. I'm going to sell it. She's heading off to Mars, but she's still having to lead her family. She's leading 2 different elements. Her folks on a shuttle ride to Mars, as well as her family. Her husband has a stroke while she is on the way to Mars, and how she deals with that. It's a phenomenal movie.
So moving on.
Paul,
I'm done. Ever After.
You lose.
I know I lost, but I gotta at least tee it up.
He's still gonna sell it.
I gotta tee it up,
go
guys.
Watch it now.
Whoa, so we found the hot button for Paul.
Nah, that's all right. It's all good. Because the next one is, I don't know how this is going to come out on top. I mean, no idea. Because you have Diane who picked Black Panther and Mike who picked 42. And I don't know why you guys chose to go head to head on this one, because those are 2 great movies.
Not only
No
that, but the
competition.
same actor.
Yeah.
No competition.
Rick, come on, man. What do you think? Black Panther or 42?
So what's interesting about this is I am trying so hard to go against Mike. I really am. I'm really trying hard to find reasons to pick Diane's movies over Mike's. But if we're going by true transformation, and although Black Panther's awesome and Wakanda Forever, how do you not, look, there's a day in the Major League Baseball where every single person wears the number 42. How do you not go 42? Sorry, got to go 42.
42. Yeah, it's a tough choice though, isn't it? Rick?
It is. It's
super tough. All right, Diane, are you sticking with your pick, Black Panther?
I am going to stick with Black Panther. I know I might lose, but I'm still going to stick with Black Panther because it's about that building in the times of crisis, the wise build bridges. Same theme in both movies, just a little bit different. So I'm going to stick with Black Panther.
Yeah, tough.
I know Mike's going to go 42.
Yeah, Mike, any flip on your pick? Or are you going to?
No, absolutely not. I mean, it's very similar to what we did over in the Western Division with Wonder Woman and Rocky. I mean, you got superhero or real world hero, right? And look, I love the superhero movies. I purposely, Diane got to pick this when we did this pick. She picked Black Panther first. I purposely pitted 42 against it because a real hero that's really had a transformational, breaking average message for the world can't beat a superhero who, you know, is kind of, the message is good, but it's not real. So 42, obviously, Paul, is going to be my pick and the winner probably overall.
Yeah, it's tough. It is a tough pick because I would say, real quick, Black Panther changed the game. You know, the movie, it's not just the story within the movie, it's the creation of the movie that was transformational. Phenomenal. It is a incredible movie, Black Panther in itself, but also the story of the production of that is, you know, groundbreaking. 42 is one of my favorite all-time movies. I don't know why you guys pitted two of my favorite movies together against each other. I mean, these could be, you know, Final Four movies, either one of them. So my heart says Black Panther. So I'm going to go with Black Panther.
Ooh, so we're going to let IMDb choose between 42 and Black Panther.
Yeah.
Go fig.
This could be the upset right here.
This will be interesting.
Uh-oh.
All right.
This has got intrigue now.
So according to IMDb, Black Panther is a 7.3. 42 is a 7.5.
Wow. There it is.
Oh,
All
so
right.
close.
Yes. I mean, I can't believe it's that close, but
Wait. I just witnessed Rick and Mike get excited. They were on the same side for a minute.
Oh, we've been on the same side. I've been so trying to make fun of Mike and his picks, and I keep picking his movies. I can't help it.
Rick's going to have a newfound respect for this old country boy before the day's over. Right?
I've always had mad respect. Mad respect for my man.
That was some competition, though.
That was
that was
That
tough.
was.
That was tough. You know, and what a great actor we lost. You know,
Yeah,
Chadwick
for sure.
Boseman, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, next round. Here we go, guys. This is getting tougher. It's getting tougher. We got Gladiator, Rick's pick, against Iron Man, my
There's
pick.
no question. There's not this one.
Gladiator versus
Paul.
Iron Man. Okay, go ahead,
First
Rick.
of all, Maximus could beat up Iron Man. I'm just throwing that out right now. But if we turn this into leadership, though, this has got one of my favorite messages kind of underneath, right? Gladiator is showing that while command and control structures can work, when your teams have a choice, they'll choose not to follow you, right? In that it's about leading by example and having authenticity that really allows people to choose to follow you versus the easy leadership that we see so often, which is leadership by position. Such a great movie.
Yeah,
Hands down, Gladiator.
Love Gladiator. All right, so Diane, what do you think?
You know, I've watched both. You clearly see I like my superheroes.
Yes, we do.
I am that naive girl. We all conquer. I have to go with Gladiator. I do have to go with Gladiator because of the leadership lessons that were within it, even though it was gross and gory and not my favorite kind of thing to watch.
Are you not entertained, Diane?
Are you not entertained?
I am entertained. So I just sometimes close my eyes and go, ooh.
All right. Gladiators coming out so far. It's going to be tough for me with Iron Man, but Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, no, it's hands down Gladiator. Look, as you know, I've voted probably against every superhero movie other than, you know, when I had to pick The Incredibles for myself. I love Iron Man. I've watched it multiple times, but again, if I have a day where I can't do anything but watch movies and I had the choice of Iron Man or Gladiator, I'm watching Gladiator over and over and over, and have watched it multiple times because I do love the whole message behind it. It's a great love story. It's a great a story of sacrifice. It's a great story of leadership. Gladiator gets my vote.
Wow. Yeah. Tough choice. I love Gladiator. One of my favorite all-time movies. I knew that I was going against a beast with Gladiator. Maximus. I love his story. You know, they're very similar stories when you think about it. Iron Man, I mean, here he gets punched in the gut and he's pretty much in death's door and he reinvents himself. Gladiator reinvents himself. They're the same story. Although Iron Man's fantastic, 7.9. Gladiator on IMDb. Gladiator really gets my choice as it is. If I had to choose the two, if you gave me two movies in front of me, I'd pick Gladiator. And Gladiator on IMDb is 8.5. So Gladiator gets a clean sweep. Sorry, Tony Stark, you're down. That's too bad. All right, so here we go. Next one, and we got Backdraft, Diane's pick, against 12 Strong, Mike's pick. Ooh, Rick, what do you think?
Once again, I'm saying I love Backdraft, but 12 Strong, what a movie. I mean, just the interpersonal dynamics that's going on, the clear line of leadership, just wow. Yeah, I got to go 12 Strong.
Rick's
It
hating
sounds like
this, I
Mike and
know.
I need to go to the movies.
Yeah, I know.
Rick is hating this.
Clearly.
Literally.
What did you do?
We're broing out here.
Yeah, what's going on here? Rick, Mike, did you pay off Rick or something?
I don't know what's happening.
I'll never
here.
tell.
All right. So, Dan, are you sticking with your pick here on this one?
Because this one I just threw at you guys, right? You didn't expect to see this one coming.
No.
Yeah, Backdraft's a good pull.
Right. So, Backdraft goes to my own personal roots, growing up in the fire service, long time. But, you put it up against the armed services as well. So
Look, it's
two of my
heroes versus
backgrounds,
heroes,
right?
But real heroes versus real heroes. I mean, it's tough.
Two pieces of my background, right? I'm from a family of firefighters and a family of veterans. So leadership throughout and service throughout both. I'm going to stick with Backdraft because of that winning mindset. You're running into the fire when everybody else is running out. And if that's not a winning mindset, then I don't know what is.
We got some competition.
Look, this is a great battle here because it's the first time where I couldn't use the real hero versus the superhero, right? Because both of these movies are about real world heroes, literally running into the fire in Backdraft. It's old school, but 12 Strong is literally running into the fire of bullets, right? I mean, and then all of the leadership lessons that go along with that, where these guys, I mean, for those of you who haven't seen the movie, it's the first 12 guys into Afghanistan after, 9/11. They go in on horseback. It's an incredible story of not only courage, which we all have to have in leadership, but also of relational dynamics that you got to build those relationships with people who don't know you, don't trust you, but have a common cause, right? And so instead of fighting against each other, which is very easy to do in relationships, they fight for a common cause, which pulls them together. It's a fantastic movie on leadership. 12 Strong definitely gets my vote. I'm going to stick with it.
Well, I did not expect Diane to pick Backdraft as her pick, in our 32 selection. And I had forgotten about that movie. It was a 1991 movie, right? So it's a good one. It's a Ron Howard movie. I mean, Ron Howard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's Kurt Russell, probably his last movie that he actually acted pretty well in. But I'm kidding. Kurt Russell, we love you, Kurt Russell. You're a great actor. It's a good movie, but I'm kind of with the guys on this one. Diane, I'm sorry, but I really think 12 Strong is stronger. So I'm picking 12 Strong. Good Will Hunting.
It's not a question again. It's just not a question.
You wait. Good Will Hunting gets Rick's pick versus my pick, Ford versus Ferrari. So, Rick, Good Will Hunting. Are you really going to stick with that pick against Ford versus Ferrari?
Well,
Seriously?
first of all, I mean, Ben Affleck met Damon, write themselves into Oscar lore with that one. Robin Williams. I mean, come on. Robin Williams he gets his first Oscar in this movie. But the biggest thing about this to me is that we're talking about true thought leadership here, right? True thought leadership. And that must be new it must lead something forward, and it should have a vision for change, a new approach, and all of that is in this. You've got this incredible kid who just wants to be part of a family, who has this mind that needs to that can change the world, right? That can literally change the world. And so to me, it's not only just a great story and a cool thing, but talk about overcoming hardships in order to fulfill your purpose. Good Will Hunting all the way.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Diane, what do you think? Good Will Hunting or Ford versus Ferrari?
So, full transparency, I have not watched Ford versus Ferrari, and my husband's like, "Oh, honey, you have to watch that movie. It's so good."
Yeah.
And ironically, as we were having these conversations, Good Will Hunting was on, and we were watching it again. And when I'm thinking about transformation, it's also, how do we need other people in our lives to help us see what we can't see. It's right there in front of us. And Robin Williams did that for him. And so for me, it's Good Will Hunting.
It's not your fault, Paul. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your fault.
All right. Well, we'll see where we go with this, because we still got 2 more picks here.
Wait to see you two together again.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. All right, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to go back to compelling, transforming, empowering, right? I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at movies based on. And I love Ford versus Ferrari. I've watched it multiple times. It actually forced me to go back and watch some old movies on Shelby, some old, historical movies of him, because of his message, or his story is so fantastic. I've watched Ford versus Ferrari twice, and it's a fairly new movie. It just came out last year. So it's a fantastic movie. But then when I throw these two up against the 3, transforming, empowering, compelling, Good Will Hunting is that movie, right? It's truly transformative. Robin Williams was fantastic in that. Robin Williams is one of my favorite all-time actors, comedians. I love Matt Damon. I'm not a huge Ben Affleck fan, but love Matt Damon. And, what the message behind that, and giving a kid who didn't believe in himself the opportunity to believe, which is what, the 4 of us are all about, right? Is encouraging people to believe. So I'm going Good Will Hunting.
Oh, man. Oh, well, obviously it's clear that I did not win this one, but with 3 Good Will Huntings, I guess.
But Matt Damon versus Matt Damon is a tough pick. I love Matt Damon, and he made Ford versus Ferrari for me. His character in Ford versus Ferrari is phenomenal.
It's fantastic.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's so good in it.
And Christian Bale. But yeah, I mean, there's acting. In fact, IMDb rated them so close, an 8.3 and an 8.1, which are, of all our movies, our 32 movies, anything in the 8 scale and up is really solid. So
which one?
Realizing that Ford versus
Which one won?
Well, in IMDb, Good Will Hunting wins.
See,
Barely.
That's what I
no
figured.
question. Yeah.
Barely.
Both great movies. Both fantastic.
Yeah. I'll just get back up. We keep going. Here we
Sorry,
go.
Paul, but
That's all right. I think there's a little secret handshake going on between Rick and Mike.
Trust me, if I could go against Rick,
I'm
I
telling
would.
you.
But
No, Mike, I know exactly where you're coming from, brother. I was like, I am trying not to give him that satisfaction that he's right.
All right. Well, we'll see where we go with this one. We have The Matrix, which was Diane's pick, and We Were Soldiers, which was Mike's pick. Woo, man,
Yeah.
2 classics.
Yeah,
Rick?
I know where Mike's going to land on this one. I got to go The Matrix. I got to go with Diane on this one. Not only that, just the to me, everything about transformation is about creating awareness and becoming more aware, right? And we all have our favorite quote, but unless you make the subconscious conscious, it'll rule your life, or you will call it fate. And so to have this awakening that there was more to life that you could tap into if you activated that portion of your brain, essentially, to me, I got to go The Matrix with this one, especially since 12 Strong was already in there.
Yeah. Okay. Matrix versus We Were Soldiers. Diane, any change in your thoughts? I mean, you didn't know Mike was going to pick We Were Soldiers, so you're going to stick with The Matrix?
I have to stay true to my picks. Come on.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
Mike really challenged me with We Were Soldiers, because, I am partial to Mel Gibson for many things. And, We Were Soldiers is really, it is a really great leadership movie because leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand. But I want to stick with The Matrix because all transformation starts within us. And so because of that message, I'm going to stick with The Matrix. The answers are always within.
Okay, Matrix. So far, Matrix is ahead. Mike, are you going to change your vote? Are you going to stick with We Were Soldiers, or are you going with Matrix?
It's a silly question.
This is another one of those matchups that's like real world versus fake. And not that Matrix is fake. I mean, I truly believe
You
that
don't know.
transformation is within, but it's sci-fi. It's kind of sci-fi, right?
You don't know. It could be
yeah.
real. You have no
Yeah,
idea.
I don't know which
But it
pill
is
to take.
really
Obviously.
compelling and enjoyable.
It's I'm not really a sci-fi type of guy, and it's got a little bit too much sci-fi in to me to be compelling, transforming, empowering. We Were Soldiers is again a movie about another real hero. I'm a military guy and I'm an army guy, so obviously I gravitate toward those types of movies. But Hal Moore, Mel Gibson portrayed Hal Moore, who is a real hero, a real world hero. Fantastic leaders. He's got books. He's got leadership awards named after him. Transformational guy in the state of Alabama, Rick, where you live. So I'm sticking with We Were Soldiers. To me, if that doesn't get your vote, Paul, I don't know if we could be friends anymore.
Oh, wow. So that's the first time there's been a direct threat in this.
That was a
great.
direct threat, man. That was like,
Yeah.
that was a knife stab at me.
Yeah.
So, Mike, I hear you. You're trying to give me a blue pill, but I take the red pill. We're going to Matrix.
Let's check it out on IMDb.
So IMDb says We Were Soldiers is a 7.2. Very respectable. I love We Were Soldiers.
Oh, it's
Great
a great
movie.
movie.
It's a great
Great
movie.
movie. Matrix is an 8.7.
That's crazy.
Wow.
See, that's just people out of touch with real world stuff right there.
It says the one person who didn't vote for it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's great. We're having fun, guys. I hope you guys know. I hope you're having fun with us. So here we go. Next round, we've got Rick, who picked Hoosiers. And
I'm really feeling bad because, I've really just kind of waxed Paul through this whole thing. And to finish with Hoosiers.
that's all right. That's okay, man. That's all right. Because I win this one, but we'll see what
Hoosiers.
happens.
How
We got
do you put
Hoosiers.
Others.
Hoosiers that you picked. I picked Greyhound, which is a Tom Hanks movie. And why we didn't pick Apollo 13 so far yet, maybe that's coming up. But we got Greyhound right here. So Hoosiers and Greyhound. Tough. So Rick, what do you
85%
think?
of the audience hasn't seen Greyhound, so it's not fair.
It doesn't matter if they've seen it or not, but when they see it, they will
Hoosiers.
know. They will know.
Oh, no question. If I'm going to use Mike's. If I'm walking by the TV and I have a choice between Greyhound and Hoosiers, it's Hoosiers all day. I mean, I want to go shoot a basketball as soon as I'm done watching that movie. It's about developing others, focusing on effort, not outcomes. I mean, it is leadership all the way. He's got to go get Jimmy to play and show that he's going to be loyal. I mean, come on. It's a phenomenal movie. Hoosiers, hands down.
Paul, I'd love to help you, but I haven't seen Greyhound. And I've seen Hoosiers.
Look, people, Hoosiers was 1986.
And
They just invented
still would watch
color.
it today.
It was so old.
Still watch
I
it
mean,
today.
and he still had hair. I'm just saying. But, I have to go with the Hoosiers. It's the teamwork. It's the theme. It's the developer, And I haven't seen Greyhound, so it would not be right for me to vote for that movie if I hadn't seen it.
Man, you guys, one day you guys are going to wake up and realize we picked the wrong movie. It should have been Greyhound, but that's okay. But Mike could help fix this. All right. Okay, gotcha. That's all right.
I have a dilemma here. Paul, have you won any? Like any
Yeah,
of
he's
our
won one. He won the
Yeah,
first
he has.
one. Remembering the
Okay.
Titans.
Good.
I
Okay,
I
good.
start off
'Cause
with a win, and I've lost ever
And then
since.
otherwise, he's gotten whacked. So
I
you
was
can't
really
give him a pity
feeling-
vote. No pity
I
vote,
was
Mike.
That's okay.
I was
it's
really
all right.
feeling bad because I was going to give you the pity vote if you hadn't won anything.
No pity votes
Um,
here. I want the best movie.
Okay. Well,
Whatever you guys think.
Then I have to be honest. I'm like, I've never even heard of Greyhound. I've never seen it. And Hoosiers I've watched multiple times. It makes me want to put my Converse on and go out and shoot basketball. And I'm not any good at it, but I got to go with Hoosiers because it's a classic that can still stand the test of time. So since you don't want the pity vote and I've never seen Greyhound, I've got to go with Hoosiers.
Man, I am just crushed. I am.
We
I
love
mean,
you,
you talk
Paul.
about
We love you,
Paul's
Paul.
Paul's obviously the eclectic one on
This is
on this
Paul's
podcast.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I let you guys pick first, right? See, look,
You did. No, yeah. You
right,
gave
fair
me-
enough.
You gave me first
Yes.
shot. That's
and
fair.
and I flipped a couple more choices, so you could say that my picks were there. But hey, look, let me just say something about Greyhound because it clearly didn't win. Hoosiers wins because these folks are not with current times. They don't. I've got a bunch of folks here, my friends, who are out of touch with reality.
I've seen the movie. I'm just telling you, 85% of the audience has it.
Okay. Well, if they did see it, they would love it because it's a great story. It's based on a novel called The Good Shepherd by C.S. Forster. And it's a story of really an Allied convoy. It's sort of that wartime North Atlantic movie, 1942, tough time in our era where Hanks, who's the captain of the ship, basically they saved hundreds, if not thousands of lives. When you save hundreds, if not thousands of lives, you pick that movie over a basketball team.
They
All right.
watched Hoosiers on that ship. I'm telling you.
They
So
didn't have
Paul,
movies on that ship in
Look,
42.
speaking of what you just said, Paul, we should go back to the last round, and you want to pick We Were Soldiers then, because I mean, a guy who was saving lives and loving lives and nurturing lives, right? You want to go back to the last
Hey,
round and repick?
Mike, I was with you on 12 strong, so we picked that one. So all right, so we're in our Hoosiers wins that one, guys. By the way, they're very close in their IMDb ratings, Hoosiers and Greyhound. So we have very two tight
Go ahead and
movies.
say who won.
Who
Go
won?
ahead and
though?
say who won.
I mean, very close and who
Hoosiers.
won?
Hoosiers
Yeah.
won.
He
course.
said
There
it.
it is.
He said it.
Yeah.
Good job.
All right. All right. So here we go. Next one. Final one.
It's the
Final
last
one.
one.
Yeah.
Last
This is the
one.
last one. We're going to finish the Eastern Division. We're going to have all 16 picks. We'll review our picks here in just a minute. But we have A League of Their Own picked by Diane and Unbroken by Mike. Rick, what do you pick?
Yeah, I'm with Diane on this one, just from watchability. I mean, good gracious, I could. I mean, if I need a good nap, then Unbroken can drive me there. A League of Their Own too. What they really needed to sacrifice in a time in which we needed them, provided some levy during a tough time, and pioneered something. Girls, there's no crying in baseball is probably one of the greatest quotes of all time. So I got to go with A League of Their Own.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mike, I know you keep shaking your head. I saw you have the whole V8
Yeah,
moment. But
The
like,
one time I go
compelling,
against them, I get that. Okay.
you know, compelling,
that's right.
transforming, empowering. It was all those things. So I got to stick with A League of Their Own.
Mike just doesn't like to watch women play baseball. I mean, let's just be honest. here.
Come on, I even
It's
brought
not
in Tom
fair.
Hanks.
I'm-
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm
was transformation
sexist.
right
I'm
there.
misogynistic. All those things, right, Rick? No,
Oh,
it's
man.
look. Here's the thing. League of Their Own is like a feel good movie, right? It's let's feel good about watching a movie, but it's not compelling. It's not transforming. It's not
I'm gonna
empowering.
put a skirt on you and make
Like
you go slide.
Unbroken is. Look here. At the end of the day, Rick has it's hurt him so bad to have to vote for my picks that the last two picks he had to go against me. I get it, Rick.
No, this is
I
straight up.
understand. You're not going to be able to sleep tonight knowing that the last two picks you went against me.
If I
against
can't sleep, I'll watch
better
Unbroken.
movies.
I promise you that.
just it's an
Oh, man.
uplifting movie, compelling, transforming. empowering. It for when you think about breaking average, I mean, what that movie brings message wise, it's going to truly cause you to break average. Where, League of Your Own, I feel good, but I'm not going to get off the couch and go play baseball like I would with Hoosiers, right? And so, I mean,
They play basketball in that movie, not baseball.
I understand, but the movie really should not even made the top 32.
So what you're saying,
I don't
is
get it.
that you would want to go carry railroad ties and run around after watching Unbroken?
Oh, come on.
Not me personally.
All right. I'm just trying to
personally.
figure out, does that movie make you want to get up and go to war?
A League of Your Own, or whatever. What is even the title of a League of Your Own? A League of somebody's
their
own.
A league
Yeah,
of
I mean,
their
it
own.
shouldn't. It's not a top. It's not even a top 32 bracket pick, really. But okay, for whatever.
Listen to this boy
You're
talk
right.
smack
It's
all
gonna
day
be
long.
a top 16.
When
This
we
is
have to
so
go to
much fun.
IMDb.
All right. So no, well, yeah,
Paul,
I get.
help us.
I will definitely help you guys, because I'm going to help my brother Mike on this one, because Unbroken is the clear winner on this. It's a great story. Now, the book is better than the movie, I got to admit. All right, I read the book way before the movie. Movie's good, book's great. Super story of Louis Zamperini. He was an Olympic athlete in the 32 games. Hitler saw him. He was a World War II vet. He 47 days in a raft, imprisoned, POW. Fantastic story. Billy Graham, basically came and rescued him later in life. Fantastic. It's a great, great story. League of Their Own. I don't even know if they still have a league, to be honest with you.
They have a Hall of Fame.
All right.
Right.
So Unbroken to me is the clear winner, but the problem is we have we got to go to the
It's a
tiebreaker.
tie.
So let's let the people speak.
That's right.
So, well, if the people represents the IMDb, it says A League of Their Own is a 7.3. Unbroken is a 7.2.
Oh my gosh! You have to be
Just-
kidding me.
You want to talk about knowing the pulse of the people?
That
here,
is
this guy.
just incredible.
This is my little happy dance. Just don't.
Again, completely out of check.
Unbelievable. I can't believe this, Mike. What happened there?
Here's my favorite part.
I
is
tell you
that
what
in the
happens,
beginning,
Rick.
If I want you to go all the way back to the beginning of this episode and hear Mike talk about, to be a good winner, you have to be a good loser. He said that in the beginning of this podcast, and here he is not being a good loser.
Well, I tell you, Paul asked a great question here, Rick. It's not the matter of being a good loser. It's that you have a bunch of broken people in the world instead of unbroken. They're broken, and that's why that movie didn't win.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're trying to find breaking average here. And so, it's interesting. The 32 movies that we selected were all fantastic. And here we are with 16. And, we have a few here that were like, whoa, they should have won it. They could have won it, but unfortunately they didn't win it, but they're still good. They're great movies, actually. So here in the Eastern Division, we had Ever After, which I don't think I've ever seen, to be honest with you. 42, which is a great movie. Gladiator. So we got lots of baseball movies and basketball movies here, by the way. 42, Gladiator, 12 Strong, Good Will Hunting, The Matrix, Hoosiers, and A League of Their Own. So you can see a little bit of a sports element with, as I look across the board, guys, we had Remember the Titans and Rocky. You could even say Forrest Gump was a little bit of a sports guy because he was a competitor and played football for Alabama, I think it was, and represented in that movie, a runner.
He was a runner. He was a ping pong champion.
Ping pong guy. You got 42. You got
I forget the shrimper.
12 Strong.
We've got some really good
these are good
matchups for the next podcast. I mean,
We do.
Yeah.
Up versus The Incredibles, Greatest Showman versus Forrest Gump. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I
this
have to
is
do
good.
homework now.
Research is going to have to go into play.
We're
Yeah.
going to do some research. We're going to bring our best stuff. This is fun. And you guys represented the winning mentality, I think, through our whole selection as judges. So thank you guys for this. It's been a great podcast, and we invite you to come back on the next one. So Mike, tell us a little bit as we close this out, just to highlight for us, who our sponsor is of this segment, and we'll shut this down for today.
Yeah. One last thing, Paul. We always like to leave our listeners with a tip and challenge. Here's my tip and challenge for you. The tip is write down the bracket that we gave you and watch all of my movies. That's the challenge for you, because those are the ones, even the ones that got outvoted because of like sympathy votes or just hatred for Mike Harbour by Rick. Watch Mike Harbour movies. That's the tip and challenge today. And we want to thank our sponsor, Spark Leadership Development, who sponsored this podcast segment, Paul. And if you're listening to this and your team needs support, your company needs support, they use DISC assessments, personality assessments to help you lead better, coach your teams better, sales and marketing and leadership training as well. You can visit poweryourspark.com. That's www.poweryourspark.com, or you can send them an email at service@poweryourspark.com. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Breaking Average podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Breaking Average podcast. If you loved what you heard, please take a moment to subscribe. All opinions and comments expressed in this podcast are those of the participants and do not reflect the opinions or views of any of the advertisers, producers, or platforms. This show was produced by R Squared Multimedia. A special thank you to Milestone Melodies for our theme music. As you continue your day, what is one action that you can apply from this podcast to your life? Tune in for our next episode as we continue to challenge everyone to break average.